On January 2, 2013, the United Nations stated that 60,000 had been killed since the civil war began, with UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Navi Pillay saying the number of casualties is much higher than we expected, and is truly shocking. 4 months later, the UN's updated figure for the death toll had reached 80,000. On June 13, 2013, the UN released an updated figure of people killed since fighting began, the figure being exactly 92,901, for up to the end of April 2013. Navi Pillay, UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, stated that, "This is most likely a minimum casualty figure. The real toll was guessed to be over 100,000. Some areas of the country have been affected disproportionately by the war. By some estimates, as many as a third of all deaths have occurred in the city of Homs.One. Problem has been determining the number of armed combatants who have died, due to some sources counting rebel fighters who were not government defectors as civilians. At least half of those confirmed killed have been estimated to be combatants from both sides, including 52,290 government fighters and 29,080 rebels, with an additional 50,000 unconfirmed combatant deaths." In addition, UNICEF reported that over 500 children had been killed by early February 2012, and another 400 children have been reportedly arrested and tortured in Syrian prisons. Both of these reports have been contested by the Syrian government. Additionally, over 600 detainees and political prisoners are known to have died under torture. In mid-October 2012, the opposition activist group SOHR reported the number of children killed in the conflict had risen to 2,300, and in March 2013, opposition sources stated that over 5,000 children had been killed. In January 2014, a report was released detailing the systematic killing of more than 11,000 detainees of the Syrian government. On August 20, 2014, a new UN study concluded that at least 191,369 people have died in the Syrian conflict. The UN thereafter stopped collecting statistics, but a study by the Syrian Center for Policy Research released in February 2016 estimated the death toll to be 470,000, with 1.9 meters wounded, reaching a total of 11.5% of the entire population either wounded or killed. A report by the pro-opposition SOHR in 2018 mentioned 82,000 victims that had been forcibly disappeared by the Syrian government, added to 14,000 confirmed deaths due to torture. On April 15, 2017, a convoy of buses carrying evacuees from the besieged Shia towns of Al-Fuwa and Kafriya, which were surrounded by the Army of Conquest, was attacked by a suicide bomber west of Aleppo, killing more than 126 people, including at least 80 children. On January 1, 2020, at least 8 civilians, including 4 children, were killed in a rocket attack on a school in Idlib by Syrian government forces, the Syrian Human Rights Observatory, SOHR, said. In January 2020, UNICEF warned that children were bearing the brunt of escalating violence in northwestern Syria. More than 500 children were wounded or killed during the first 3 quarters of 2019, and over 65 children fell victim to the war in December alone. Over 380,000 people were killed since the war in Syria started 9 years ago, War Monitor Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said on January 4, 2020. The death toll comprises civilians, government soldiers, militia members and foreign troops. In an airstrike by Russian forces loyal to the Syrian government, at least 5 civilians were killed, out of which 4 belonged to the same family. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights claimed that the death toll included 3 children following the attack in the Idlib region on January 18, 2020. On January 30, 2020, Russian airstrikes on a hospital and a bakery killed over 10 civilians in Syria's Idlib region. Moscow immediately rejected the allegation. On June 23, 2020, Israeli raids killed 7 fighters, including 2 Syrian in a central province. State media cited a military official as saying the attack targeted posts in rural areas of Hama province.